Thank you for listening to this Podcast One production. Now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, PodcastOne.com, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
This week's Off the Vine is sponsored by GEICO. Go to geico.com and in 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. Extra money in your pocket? It just may be the most rewarding to do you do today. Coors, if the pace of things is wearing you down, take a moment, pause, refresh yourself, and when you choose to turn off, reach for the one beer that's made to chill. And TurboTax. Get your taxes filed quickly and easily and get back to all those amazing things people do every day. TurboTax. All people are tax people.
Who's down with OTV? Who's down with OTV? Who's down with OTV?
Podcast One presents Off the Vine with KAITLYN Bristowe. KAITLYN is creating a space where girls and gents can feel empowered to be themselves. Get ready for lots of laughs, taboo topics, unfiltered advice, and wine. Lots of wine. Get ready to shake things up.
All right, welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, KAITLYN Bristowe, and today my guest truly does it all. She's a comedian, an actress, YouTube personality, author, and host of not one but two podcasts called Not Too Deep and This Might Get Weird. And I love the fact that she's a host of a podcast called Not Too Deep, because today, with everything going on, I know a lot of us use some not too deep conversation and some good old-fashioned fun. So the last time I had her on the podcast was over 2 years ago, definitely overdue for a catch-up, and excited to hear what she's been up to. So please welcome to the podcast, Grace Helbig. Hi.
Hello. Thanks for having me back. Has it really been 2 years?
Yes, I was just going to say, I can't believe it's been a little over 2 years.
That's so nuts. Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. But, right now time doesn't exist, so.
Time does not exist. Has this been going by quickly for you or like painfully slow?
It's the mix that I see everyone talking about, where a day feels like a year, but then it also feels like it was the day before. It feels like time's going in reverse and also incredibly quick at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, well, first of all, I've been quarantined for longer than most because I got sick before everything went down, and it was like when everything was starting to happen. So I think I started being quarantined on the of March. Jeez. And yeah, and I'm honestly, I don't know why, but it's gone so fast for me. Like, I'm really enjoying just like this time of sleeping and not doing much and drinking whenever I want to.
I think that's the way to handle it, because it could go either way. You could totally like lean into the anxiety and the stress of all of it and like live in the paralysis of, I don't know what to do next. Or you can lean in and try and find the good in all of it.
Right. Mixture of both. Like, sometimes I'll have full-blown anxiety, usually at like 3 a.m. when I decide to wake up and go like really dark into a dark hole.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. Otherwise, I go one of two ways. I remember being 4 years old. It was one of the first memories I ever had, and this huge tornado came through where I lived. And I remember pretending I was sleeping because I was like, oh, if I just shut down and I don't deal with it, and everything's fine because I just shut down. And I'll sometimes do that. And then sometimes I'll be like batshit crazy and have anxiety.
Yeah, I think it can go either way. Melatonin has been a really fun friend during this time for me. But yeah, I have those like roller coaster moments of like, oh my God, everything's crumbling and there's nothing I can do and I'm helpless and the world, this might be a completely different world now. And then I look at my dog and I'm like, okay, let's just focus on your life hasn't changed and you're full of joy. Okay.
And you stay home all day, every day, and you seem to be doing okay.
Exactly. When you were sick before this whole pandemic happened, like that must have been kind of crazy.
I was so scared. I had just traveled back from New York where like the first cases were like starting to spread.
So everything's just checking off all these boxes.
I had every symptom. It was awful. It was so scary. I ended up testing negative for COVID and positive for the flu, but it was like, I haven't had the flu. I don't even remember last time in life I've had the flu. And to get sick and have the flu at that time, I'm like, that was terrible timing.
Yeah, the universe is really messing with you. It's like, she seems too happy right now. How can we throw a curveball?
How can we this up for her?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they did.
But joke's on them. I survived.
But you got tested for COVID. How was that experience? Because I haven't talked to anyone that's actually been tested.
Okay, so it was crazy because it was, I don't know how I got one. It was first come, first serve. And she was like, if you get here in like 15 minutes, we can probably do it. And I lived about 30 minutes away. And so I just jumped in the car. Jason took me. We had to go in the back door. They had to come like put me in masks, and they had to have masks and come out and get me. Then I sat in a room and they came with, it was awful. It was 4 like swabs, huge long swabs that had to go up your nose and like touch the top of your head basically through your nostril. And they had to like swirl it around up there 4 times, like not just, So one in one nostril, one in the other, then the next one in the nostril, and then one in the other. And it was not fun. But I did it. And then it took 4 days, almost 5 days for me to get the results back, but negative. So
yeah, what a fun 4 or 5 days that must have been.
I just told myself I had it. I was like, well, I'm just good. I got to stay home. Like, apologies to Jason, who's definitely going to get it if I have it, and we're just going to have to be, stuck home for a couple weeks. But I mean, we're still stuck home anyways because social distancing for the win.
Good for you. Good for everyone. I know, and I feel like you're a lot like me, where you've probably set up your home in a way that like it's an okay experience to have to be stuck at home.
I love it. I've been like this morning, I built all this furniture I've been waiting to build that's in my bonus room upstairs. I'm making it like this like Zen room, and I've just been like, everywhere has been my little sanctuary.
Yeah, no, that's great. My boyfriend and I installed a new toilet the other day.
So did we.
Yeah, we're just getting into home improvement. And now I'm looking at the old toilet that we took out, and I'm like, I'm going to make that into a planter in a couple days. Like, big plans.
Wow. You're getting creative over there.
Trying to keep the brain active.
I see that you always drink Red Bull. Now, that's something that gives me anxiety. Is that like your coffee?
It is like my coffee. I'm from New Jersey originally, so I feel like it's kind of like in my blood to begin with.
Wait, is that a thing?
I feel like Jersey is just like the whole blanketed stereotype that like we're gas station garbage people, but with full of heart and love.
Well, that's what's important.
I feel like it's just become my staple now. And if I'm going to be home, I'm just going to let myself have the few treasures that I love.
Hey, you know what? That's what it's all about right now. You got to do what makes you happy and enjoy the little things that, like Red Bull. For me, it's 2:00 and I'm drinking red wine and I feel great about it.
There you go.
Yes, zero guilt.
Stress.
And I always say anyways, like even when this quarantine wasn't happening, I'm like, well, it's part of the job, like it's part of my brand. I'm promoting my wine. I'm doing what I do best on the podcast, drinking and talking. Like it's, so whatever. Zero guilt.
You're still doing your job. You're being a professional is what you're really doing.
You know what? I'm being a professional. I love the meme that's on the internet right now that says like, me drinking at home alone 2019, sad, disturbing, loser. Me drinking home alone 2020, citizen, inspiration, hero.
Yep. I know. The thing that it gives us the opportunity to really like reflect on what we thought was shitty about 2019 and go, you know what? We were kind of thriving maybe, and we didn't appreciate it when we were doing it.
You're so right. That's exactly right. 2018 was like a shit show, and then 2019 like really wasn't that bad, but we're like, well, we have to wait for 2020 because 2020 is going to be the year. And it was like, JK, your year was last year and you guys blew it.
Yeah, exactly. Like appreciate stuff in the moment. Teaching you to be present, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah. Which I think we all will when we come out of this. I think we will appreciate like conversation more. We'll be more present. Like there will be some good.
Yeah, I'm so curious to see how people come out on the other side of this, to see if this is going to take us back a step in like our actual socializing, or if it's going to have us appreciate the moment that we can go hang out with friends, that we can go to a bar or a restaurant or any of those things.
Why do you think it would take us back? Like everyone would be just scared to like talk and get near each other?
Well, I wonder about like the lingering anxiety and like the trust levels of everyone still, of like, you can only believe what the news that you're consuming and all of that stuff, that I'm like, I still have a feeling that we're going to go once like the green light is given, like out, but still with this sense of wariness of like, this is fun, but like, did you wash your hands?
Right. Everyone's going to be just like unsure of each other and their hygiene, which everyone knows that listens to this podcast that my hygiene is questionable. So no one's going to want to touch me after.
I know. My whole brand has been built on the fact that I'm kind of a scum person. And now
Totally.
I'm like, I should upgrade this brand image now.
Yeah. We got to wash our hands a couple more times now and just like really showcase that when we do it. Like, look, exactly. I showered today and I'm washing my hands. I'm changing who I am and my hygiene.
Exactly.
That's so funny. All right. Do you own or rent your own home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be a lot of work. You know what's really easy? Bundling policies with GEICO. GEICO makes it easy to bundle your homeowner's or renter's insurance along with your auto policy. And it's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's GEICO easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. So what does a quarantine day look like for you, and how you and your boyfriend live together, right?
Yeah, we do. And so it's been nice because I did see, I think it was Jamil was tweeting something last week about like, thank God I like my partner, like not even like I love my partner, but like, thank God I like them and I enjoy being around them because like I looked at my boyfriend the other night and I was like, do you know that there's so many people breaking up right now because
absolutely.
This exact physical situation has just brought so much stuff to light and so much stuff to the surface. And I'm like, thank God for you. Like, I enjoy you and you don't annoy me. So we're okay right now.
Wait, he never annoys you?
No. Isn't that insane?
Whoa.
I know. But
that's
like
crazy.
We have a good level of respect for each other and know when to give each other space, which I think is massive.
That's very important is boundaries and space during this whole thing. Yeah, like separate rooms.
Yeah, but a normal quarantine day, I've been trying to not sleep in past like 9.
Wow, good for you.
As a means to like try and motivate myself to make myself feel like I'm still doing something. Yeah. And then I try to get some work done early in the morning so that all of like the watching reality TV and, baking cakes and eating them are like rewarded.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of you. I'm like being such a piece of shit in this time, but I keep telling myself because I get a Peloton bike tomorrow and I'm like, that's when I'll start being, I don't get out of bed till like 11:30 right now. I'm like, I get up and I eat and then I go, well, I guess I could have a nap. And then I go have a nap and I don't get out of my sweatsuit.
Yeah. There's still a ton of just kind of like wandering around my house, looking at things like I could do. Like I was just watching 90 Day Fiance. Like I'm like answering one email and going, that was pretty good. Okay, we can still keep watching this.
That's funny because I'm the same. I got up and built furniture this morning, so I'm not that big of a piece of shit,
Yeah. It's all balance.
It's balance. Okay, tell me about your podcast first of all. The Not Too Deep is that you alone?
Yeah, Not Too Deep is me alone. We started that podcast like 6 years ago or so. Mm-hmm. I had a couple friends that started podcasts, especially in like the YouTube world, that were really beautiful, like thought-provoking, very like candid conversations with people. And I had gone on their podcast and I was like, wow, I don't think I've even told like my mom half of the things that I just talked about with you guys. Yeah. And it was an intense but like overwhelming experience. So I was like, I want to create the opposite version of that, something that's just surface level. But, in the 6 years that we've been doing it, it's now become more, real conversations with people because humans are endlessly fascinating. And I'm sure you get it, like the chance to talk to people that do so many different things and like how they do so many different things is just like very interesting to me. So that's been happening for like 6 years. And then the other podcast, this might get weird, is with my best friend Mamrie, who was on.
Yes, love Mamrie, yeah.
And we started that. We've been best friends for like over a decade. And we had this web series called This Might Get, which was like our version of like Kathy and Hoda. And then the funding got pulled out from that show. So we had podcast equipment and I was like, this seems like an easy kind of transition for us. Why don't we start that? And we've been doing that for like a year and a half now. And it's just us talking as best friends about what we've been up to each week. It's really a nice release.
It's so funny because I feel like people love like, think about Instagram stories. Mm-hmm. There's something like where you love just being a part of somebody's conversation without having to like actually be there or see what they're doing in their days. Like, it's
Yeah. After we did your podcast, I became like so infatuated with your social media because I was like, she's just so candid and real. And she's taking us to get her Botox done. And this is just fascinating. And I loved it. And I'm like, oh, and the podcast that I listened to the most are like my best friends that are our best friends that are friends of mine that just talk to each other. And I just find it so interesting. So we did our version of that.
That's awesome. I think, like, if you think about radio shows growing up, like, you loved listening to them in the morning or just being part, you just felt like you were there with them. And I feel like that's exactly what podcasting is. Like, I don't know why, but it's just nice to listen to somebody else's conversation and what they're up to. And it's always relatable in a way. And like, yes. I don't know.
And it's very great after like doing so much stuff on YouTube that's very edited and very curated. It's really nice to just have conversations that breathe, that aren't edited, and you just kind of get into real talk sometimes. And I just really like that.
I do too. Yeah, I love podcasting. And that's, because you've been doing YouTube for how long now?
Over 10 years now. And so it's a great, I don't even know what's happening on YouTube these days. It's so overwhelming. Wait, are you on TikTok? I have to ask you this.
I had that question written down for you. I am, but I just it's so hard. Like, TikTok is hard.
I have signed up for an account a few weeks ago. Haven't done anything with it. Haven't even looked at the landscape of it yet because it just overwhelms me. It makes me feel like my parents when I first told them what YouTube was. Yeah. And my other friend has been trying to educate me on how it is like user-friendly and easy to use, but I can't wrap my head around it yet. I also can't dance.
It's not user-friendly.
I think is a huge component of TikTok.
But that's kind of funny when people can't dance and do TikTok. Like, that's what's entertaining. Because when I see people who can dance, I'm like, oh, well, it's fun to watch people fail.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, like the funniest videos out there are people like falling and failing and doing, that's the funny stuff right there. So maybe you'd thrive.
Maybe. I mean, I have the time. So
we were talking about this last night. Like, it's such an excuse for so many things, like that you want to, have a drink at 1 p.m. Well, COVID, like we could do that. Or you want to like start a TikTok account, but you're in your 30s and then you feel like you don't get it, but then you do it because you're like, well, I've got time. It's an excuse for a lot of things that truly are I love dancing, and TikTok, I've done a few. And I'm like, I just, as soon as I scroll and I see other people's TikTok, I'm like, I suck at this.
I know. That's the thing. It seems so intimidating the way it's edited. I'm like, these are really well done. And I know I could figure this out, but they just see it like they're doing it.
I know these young kids are genius, and they're so creative, and like they just get it. I'm like, oh man, like I wish I had that kind of creative outlet when I was a kid. Like, I think it's really good for kids doing this kind of stuff. Yeah,
I'm interested to see how it affects kids after they grow up, but I think it's really nice for them to have creative outlets like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the internet in general, I'm curious about how people will grow up now, but anyways.
Oh man, that's a whole bag of worms.
Yeah, I could do a 2-year podcast on that.
We'll be back with more Off the Vine with KAITLYN Bristowe. Now back to Off the Vine with KAITLYN Bristowe.
Okay, so you ask 2 questions to every guest on Not Too Deep, and I'm going to put you in the hot seat and make you answer your own questions, okay?
Definitely.
Okay, so who, alive or dead, would you most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Oh, gosh. Right now, who would I most want to throw cold spaghetti at?
Jessica from Love is Blind. She actually listens to this podcast, so I'm like, love you.
Does she? Have you had her on yet?
No, but I would like to. I don't know if she's doing a lot of media, because I think she's like obviously upset with how things went down or how she was portrayed, but yeah. I would love to have her on.
Yeah, I got fascinated by Love is Blind. I know she moved to like Los Angeles or something after So I'm also curious and also would like to talk to her as a guest.
Don't worry. We'll get into Love is Blind.
I think maybe I would say myself for a TikTok video would probably be.
That's a good idea.
Right? I mean, I have all we've stocked up on lately is spaghetti. So I have the means.
There you go. There you go. Okay, perfect. And then tell me your worst shit in your pants story or close call. I know you use 3 words or phrases on your podcast, but I want the full story.
The full story. Okay. Well, the 3 phrases I use on my podcast are college, jogging, front lawn. And the story behind it is that in college, like running is like the exercise that I do. And I was home at my dad's house over the summer, I think, when I was in college. And I decided I was trying to go on like longer and longer runs. And it was like the longest run I had done. I was trying to do like 10 miles or something. And cause he lives in like a very wooded area and it's really beautiful to run around. And I got like the furthest point away from his house, like the halfway point to turn around, and nature called. And there was a lot of people's properties are spaced out enough that I borrowed a bush from the front lawn of a stranger, and
borrowed the bush.
Yeah, you do what you have to do, and then you run away.
Yeah, good thing you're a runner, and you could just run away after.
Yeah. I mean, the second half of the run went a lot faster than the first half of the run, so it worked out. You saw the silver lining in that one. That's a win-win. You took your jog up a notch, and you burned some more calories, and you really went for it. It's truly, and my digestive system was really working that day, so it was actually an okay day.
Yeah, that sounds like a great day. I tried so hard to get into running, but then I got sick. I was trying to do, first of all, I heard it was 27 days in a row of running makes you crave running, but that's so hard on your joints. And then I heard it was 21 days to like break a habit or like get into a habit. And so I was trying to at least go for 21 days, and I was on day 12, and that's when I started getting sick. And now I'm like, well, I don't want to run anymore. But tell me about running. Like, did you always love running, or did it take you a while to get into it, or what? Like, tell me, sell me on running.
I'm not even like a runner. Like, I have a treadmill in my house, which thank God I have now in this situation. But I also have like a TV in front of my treadmill. So it's my way of kind of making it again okay to watch reality TV if I'm like walking on the treadmill at the same time. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, I was more into it in college, and now I've like fallen off a little bit. But I like what my anxieties and stuff like that get inflated. I can tell if I haven't like physically moved. I'm sure you have the same thing where it's like I just have to sweat a little bit, or just have to like get
some sort of activity. Yeah. I find it so hard, but once I started, I got better each day. Like it's crazy how much better you do get just in like even a week of doing it. I was like, oh dang, I'm a runner. But
I know when you start to crave the endorphins and you're like, I could really do this. And then you see actual runners and you're like, no, okay, this is.
That's like you just said you ran 10 miles?
Oh, like 10 years ago. So
still,
we're not at that level anymore.
That is wild. All right. Life today can be kind of a lot. It seems like we always need to be on and rarely get a minute to ourselves to just relax. So personally, I feel like I'm always going place to place, or right now running task to task, actually, and talking to a million different people. But I know how important it is to try and hit a reset button every now and then. So when I crack open a mountain cold Coors Light, it feels like I'm doing just that. It's the perfect thing to sip on when you just want to relax. Have you noticed that the mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold? It's the little things right now, okay? I love it so much. Reminds me of home, reminds me to just chill for a second. With everything going on, sometimes we need a minute to turn off for a little bit. Coors Brewing Company was born in the Rocky Mountains of Golden, Colorado in 1978, and each Coors Light goes through a 3-step cold process. So cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. It's literally actually made to chill. So cool. Get it? When you want to get away from it all, reach for the one beer that's made to chill. It's refreshing, crisp, and only 102 calories. With my 3 boys by my side and a Coors Light in my hand, could not be more content. That's why Coors Light is the one I choose when I need a moment of chill. So when you're ready to reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. You can have a Coors Light delivered by going to shop.CoorsLight.com and finding local delivery options near you. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Okay, and Love is Blind. When did you finish watching that?
Oh my God. Okay, so I had avoided it for when it first came out and had like so many people texting me because they know I love reality TV, being like, you're going to love this show. And so I like bit the bullet and I started watching it. And my boyfriend, he doesn't love reality TV to my level, but I convinced him to watch the show with me, and he got really into it because he's very into like psychoanalytical stuff and like the psychology behind why people do what they do.
Yeah.
And so we got super into it. And then we went on a vacation for his birthday. We went to London, and it was still, because they were like, you know, releasing the episodes staggered, that I bought a VPN, which is like it scrambles your IP on your computer so we could watch it overseas. And my computer,
gosh, amazing.
Yeah, because the Netflix, this wasn't available in the UK. And so I was like, I'm so desperate to watch this. I can't possibly wait 3 days to go back home. So yeah, it was just like us in a hotel room in London for his birthday, like huddled up watching the final episodes. It was so fascinating. It's so interesting. I just love the new style of like cameras in the wall and less and less cameras in the room with people, because I feel like they really caught real candid moments between people that probably wouldn't have happened with like a boom operator.
I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
Yeah. That's what I was like, oh, how are they so like open about so many things, and how is Jessica just like really going for it, because she seems so in tune and like aware of reality shows and how they're crafted and edited. And you could tell that she was like trying to curate her narrative a little bit.
Right.
They just were able to catch so many small, big moments because I feel like there wasn't an actual like producer and cameraman in the room with them. So it was like real hangs, and that fascinated me.
Do you think they had producers like in like speaker coming through and talking to them in the rooms?
I think they must have. I'm so fascinated by like the dynamics of how it all comes together. But because did you watch The Circle as well?
I'm watching it right now.
Okay, so The Circle, you can kind of tell because the way that they talk to each other, they're phrasing everything in like full sentences, which isn't normal conversation. That you can kind of tell that there's probably like a voice of God producer that will like tell them to talk through exactly what messages they're sending. And so I assume that that's kind of what happened on Love is Blind.
That's so crazy. Now I keep thinking about how true that statement is that you just said. Like, if on The Bachelor, these cameras were not right there, like these, you know, on Bachelor and certain reality shows, most reality shows, these cameras are like insanely huge, and the guys behind it are looking at you like you're a freaking moron, and like they're just like, oh my God, this girl. And if they weren't there, that changes the whole dynamic of it, because I feel like it would be so much more genuine and I didn't even think about that.
Everyone's awareness, because that's my favorite thing on reality shows is like when they pull out and you get an actual like facial reaction from like a sound operator or something. Happening. But I feel like they're all very interesting people that the way to capture them in their natural habitat is like hidden cameras everywhere.
Yes, that's so funny. And what about Tiger King? Have you got into that?
Oh, burned through that immediately. I feel like and I don't know if I should be proud of this. I feel like I was probably one of the first people to watch.
Really? Yes, you should be proud of that.
Just because we were going through everything on Netflix and like burning through stuff. And I turned on Netflix in the middle of the day and I was like, this wasn't here before. And you know, it starts auto playing. And my boyfriend was in the bathroom and I was like, Elliot, I'm waiting for you. This looks great. We have to watch this. And he's from Florida. So it all was like a perfect storm. It was so insane. I can't still wrap my head around it. At one point halfway through, we were like, let's make bets on what we think will happen next.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
We couldn't even do that because
because it's so unpredictable. Like that, every episode, I'm only on episode 5 right now, and each one I'm like, and I get mad at myself. I've put it on to like before I fall asleep, and I'm like so tired just trying to stay awake, like one eye open, being like, no, Caitlin, you have to watch this because it's just so wild.
It's so wild, and I kept going through peaks and valleys of being like, this is like flaming my anxiety right now. I can't watch this. And then being like, I gotta see what happens. This is so crazy.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like sometimes I just need to shut it off just because I get so overwhelmed by it. And then, but 5 minutes later, I'm like, put that shit back on.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you're just like, these are real people. These are real people.
I have to remind myself of that.
These are real stories. These are real tigers. Like, it's a whole world I had no idea about.
Now, I feel like we've probably talked about this on the first podcast because I talk about it with everyone. But do you have misophonia?
I said, huh?
Oh. I really thought you would know what that is. Misophonia, when you like the sound of other people's like chewing or like those kinds of like someone eating cereal like just drives you bonkers.
Oh, I don't think.
No, you would know.
That, but Mamrie, my friend, definitely has that. Like she'll hit you on the mouth if you're like making weird noises.
Yes. Okay, then she 1000% has it. You would know if you had it because you'd be like, oh, I can't stand that sound.
Oh yeah, no. I think it bothers me, but not to that extent.
I'm even to the point where that producer guy with the hat who talks like this, like his voice, I like cringe and shudder every time he talks on that show, and the sound of his voice just irritates the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
That guy's bonkers.
It's so nuts. It's so nuts. It just blows my mind how much footage they still have of everything happening all the time.
I know. Well, because that guy clearly, I mean, he said it, wanted to be famous and recorded everything, which thank God, because it's making our lives of quarantine just so much better with this content.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, there has to be a follow-up to this. And also, he has to be in his jail cell, like, loving it so much.
Oh, absolutely. He's a star in his mind.
Yeah.
In his mind.
Yeah, for better or worse.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more Off the Vine with KAITLYN Bristowe.
From the network that brought you the Cold Case Files podcast comes I Survived, the classic stories you know, with new interviews, updating each woman's story with everything that happens after survival.
I survived because I convinced him that I was a person.
I survived because I was a smarter person than my assailant.
I survived because I believe God saved me.
Surviving is just the beginning of their story. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Off the Vine with KAITLYN Bristowe.
I wanted to play a little game with you called Never Have I Ever, which we all know, but quarantine edition.
All right.
Yeah. So, never have I ever wiped with something other than toilet paper.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I have, for sure. And this trying times, we're like, my boyfriend just came back with the last, like, thing of toilet paper from a grocery store, and I'm this is the sexiest thing you've ever done, is walk back in with a bag of toilet paper, because we've been on very low supply, and I tried to buy up all of like the wet wipes as much as I could, and so yeah, it's been it really forces you to get creative.
Yeah. So what'd you use?
I've used a toilet roll.
I've done that too. Same. Oh my God, that's so funny. Same.
Yeah, also I'm like day 2 of my period, so it's like, I don't care. I can do whatever I want. I have.
Oh my God, we're so synced up. I'm on day 2 of my period.
There you go. Yeah, Mamrie is too. It's happening to all of us.
The heck? It's like, even I have a girl group chat, and there's, I think, 9 of us in there, and we're all on their period right now except for one girl.
God bless her. Her time will come.
Oh, I'm like, you must be pregnant. Everybody's on their period right now. Do you get bad PMS?
Yes. And now I've been able to pinpoint it to the point where, like, I look at Ellie and I'm just like, it's coming, because I'm irritated by everything right now.
Yeah, me too. I have a period tracker app called P Tracker, and it's like without fail correlates every time. My irritability correlates with my period every single time.
What's your main symptom? Is it like sensitivity, like emotional? Is it like anger? Is
it changes, which is weird because I used to be really emotional and cry a lot on my period, but now it's like more irritability where I'm just like everything annoys me and I get very easily frustrated and like mad, and I just have to like stay to myself, because if I'm alone, I'm totally fine. But even just like Instagram, or like Jason could I obviously have to like take a step back. I don't ever say anything to him. Like, I would be like, you're doing this wrong. But like, that's how I feel inside, where he's not doing anything wrong. And internally, I'm like, why is he using a fork for macaroni and cheese? Like, I'll like pick anything and it'll just irritate me, and I'll have to internalize it because I know it's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah. And I don't know I need to figure out the language to use to communicate, like, this isn't personal. I'm going to be unconsciously saying some nitpicky things about you, but I need you to know that something is taking over my body. It's an alien invasion this month, and this is what's happening.
It is. It's absolutely an alien invasion. I totally agree with that, and I feel that on such a spiritual level. I genuinely go to like a really dark place for about 3 days of every month.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, back to wiping with anything other than toilet paper. Never have I ever eaten dessert for breakfast. Now, this is just in quarantine.
Oh, the quarantine doesn't even matter for this one. Yeah, I have such a sweet tooth that I eat cake for breakfast like first thing in the morning. Like, I have tried to convince myself that it's like a mature life hack that I have all gummy vitamins. So
I do that too.
Yeah. And so that's the first thing I eat in the morning is I crave sugar. So I'm just like, oh, well, I'm eating my vitamins.
Gotta take my vitamins.
So this counts. But yeah, I love sweets so much.
Me too. it's in the last 4 years, my sweet tooth just gets worse as time goes on. I used to never have a sweet tooth. And now, 2 days ago, I think, who knows with this time, I had Oreos, like a whole bag of mini Oreos for breakfast. And it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I actually did the same exact thing. Elliot loves Oreos, so we have them in the house all the time. And I don't think I've eaten an Oreo since I was in like middle school. And then the other morning, I just walked into him. He was still asleep, and I was like, I ate the rest of the Oreos for breakfast. I'm just letting you know.
Wow, we are really like on the same page in quarantine life here. We really are. We both wiped with the toilet paper roll. We're both on day 2 of our period. We both get PMSy, and we both ate Oreos for breakfast.
It's very comforting to hear.
I feel heard and not so
I feel like I'm in a safe space now.
Yeah, I really do. I'm like, can't wait to find out what else we do that's the same.
I know.
All right, people do amazing things every day, so it makes no sense that they shouldn't feel confident about doing their taxes. TurboTax believes that with the right tools and encouragement, people can do anything. Yes, even taxes. And with TurboTax Live, you even have access to CPAs and EAs on demand who are available to answer your questions or to give advice on how to file, even on nights and weekends. So you can do your taxes with ease and confidence and never feel stuck or alone during the tax process. You can also rest assured that you'll be getting the best possible outcome, which means that you can file your taxes quickly and easily and get back to all those amazing things people do every day. TurboTax. All people are tax people. Never have I ever not changed out of my clothes the entire day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's also quarantine aside. Once you start working from home regularly, it's just like, why?
Well, so my girlfriend has this theory because she is a mom of 2 and she stays at home with them. And she said it's like a mental thing where if you get out of bed and you change, like even if you change into another sweatsuit, just change and not wear the same clothes you slept in. And for some reason, I'm like, I don't want to. Like I've been in the same sweatsuit for 4 days now.
I buy into that theory, and I have done that. Like I have put jeans on when I really want to feel like I'm ready to do something.
Yeah.
But I also still do that. A couple months ago, we're a little drunk and we're watching Shark Tank and ordered comfies, those giant sweatshirts and they showed up, and it's been like the greatest thing I've ever purchased.
Wait, a comfy or a snuggie?
Comfy. Not to be confused with the Snuggie. It's like this oversized sweatshirt with a giant pocket that can technically fit like an iPad in it if you need to. And it is truly the most comfortable thing.
I got a McDonald's Snuggie sent to me, and that's really made my life a lot better.
Oh, yeah. I went on Amazon this morning and ordered like a men's onesie. I was like, if I update my wardrobe, even if it's still onesies, it's something new.
Okay, I have a question because nobody's like really caring about what they wear or anything right now. So have you been doing any online shopping, or is that a guilty pleasure of yours in general? Because I don't know why, but for some reason, I think it's because I'm just laying on my couch. I'm shopping more than usual.
Yeah, I have been. I just got a package from Sephora the other day that I forgot that I ordered last week when I woke up feeling like kind of miserable, PMS-y, that I was like, makeup will make me feel prettier and make me then feel better on the inside, right? So yeah, but I've been trying to be a good person and donate to like No Kid Hungry and like Feeding America, and then order myself some things. So I try to find the balance.
Yeah,
there.
I do that too because I just have so many clothes I don't wear, and at least once a month I go through and just pack up bags of clothes and take them somewhere like to donate, and then buy more.
Yep. It gives you reason.
It does. It makes me feel better about it. This one I already know because never have I ever made a TikTok video, but you need to do the cold spaghetti throwing at yourself TikTok.
Yeah. I think it has to happen.
Oh, I've got it. You know do you watch TikTok videos?
No, I mean, I've seen TikTok videos here and there, but I'm not like looking through the app and scrolling through.
Okay, there's this one that's trending right now, and it's like that is it Bruno Mars song, and it's like, stop, wait a minute, but it's like they go and they have flour in their hands and they'll just go up to somebody and it goes, stop, and it's like an uncomfortable amount of time, and the other person's like, what are you doing? And they're like just standing there, and then it goes, wait a minute, and they like throw flour in their face. You need to do that with cold spaghetti.
There we go. Yeah, because it's not harmful necessarily. It can be a joyful toss.
Exactly, a joyful toss. Yeah, it just has to be like gently onto your face. Yeah, no, I get it. Never have I ever drank before noon.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I wrote that down and I was like, this is stupid. Like, who doesn't once in a while have a drink before noon? Another one I had, but I was like, no, we all do that all the time, is talked out loud to my dog. My sister sent me the funniest meme of a dog stretching, and it was like, if you don't say, ooh, that's a big stretch, every time your dog does that, are you even a dog mom?
Every single time I just say, that's a good stretch, Goose. Get that good stretch. And it's so now automatic that I don't know that I'm doing it.
Same, but now I laugh since my sister said that to me. Every time I'm like, oh, that's a big stretch. And then I'm like, oh my God, every time I do that. That's so funny.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, my dog and I have had so many full conversations.
So many.
Very enlightening.
Have you heard about the dog that there's like an Instagram account? Someone was telling me on another podcast. There's an Instagram dog account where they can press buttons. This dog presses a button and talks to you. So like he's figured out how to say sentences like, I need food now, or I'm hungry, or I need to go outside. And it's buttons that he presses that talks.
What?
I'll send you the Instagram account because you have to see it. It's fascinating. They have like quite a bit, like a huge following, which they should, because who doesn't want to see a dog talk to their owner?
Yeah, that's very fascinating and also kind of scary, because I asked Mamrie this on our podcast the other day, that I was like, okay, and maybe this is a good question for you because you have 2 dogs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you could, would you actually want your dogs to be able to talk back?
Yes.
Really? See, I don't think I would. I think the joy in talking to a dog is that they can't talk back, because I know that I won't get any discouragement when I'm talking to my dog about irrational things.
That's fair. Yeah. But then don't you want to know what they're thinking and what they have to say to you?
I do want to know that. I want to know what they're thinking when they're just like staring at a wall doing nothing. But
right.
but I think I'd only want it for a very short period of time.
That does, okay, because my main thing, like I think a lot of dog owners feel this way, like I just want to know what they're thinking. I just wish they could talk. But now that you bring up that point and I think about it, I'm like, you're kind of right.
Yeah, that I'm like, I don't know if I want Goose to respond to me, because
Right.
I think I like the fact that she can't respond to me, because if I wanted a response, I would probably just talk to Elliot, I guess.
You're right. I like talking to the dogs and not having them say anything back.
Yeah, because also I just wouldn't want to know how smart she is and what her thoughts on my behavior over the last 7 years have been.
Do you believe in, and you can be honest with me because I'm a little woo-woo with this, but do you believe in dog mediums and mediums being able to talk to your dog?
I believe that anything is possible. I don't know that I've seen enough footage or videos or of that to know how in depth it could be and how spot on it could be, but I believe in tarot and all of that stuff, so yeah, okay. That kind of goes hand in hand.
I'm gonna send you this girl's information, and I'm gonna get you to reach out and see if she'll do a medium session with your dog.
Oh my god,
just so you could see, because then you'll kind of know these things, but you won't have to have them talk back to you, but that you could ask whatever questions you want. You don't have to know things you don't want to know.
Wow.
And she's bang on.
Wait, so you've done this?
Yeah, I did it with both dogs. And she, I don't think she, knows who I am on Instagram. It's not like she follows the dogs. She's, but what's really weird is she texts me. She doesn't text you, on the norm. But when when Ramen was in the hospital one time, she messaged me and she was like, I'm just checking in on Ramen. And nobody knew he was in there.
Weird. See, that stuff, I believe in that stuff, and that stuff freaks me out in a cool way. But yeah, that's pretty nuts.
It was so wild, and so many things that she said.
What was the most profound or thing that she said that affected you the most?
That because I had Ramen as an emotional support animal, and so he flew with me a few times, and I noticed that he would get a little anxious on planes just for the first 2 times. And she said, he's a rescue, so he doesn't know where you're taking him or if he's going somewhere else. And then she said, if you just have the conversation with him, and she said, I will too, about how he's your emotional support animal and how that's his job. That is his job, is to make you less anxious and to help you. And so she was like, 1 second. And she came back 5 minutes later and she was like, he knows that's his job now. And you watch, and it was the next flight we took. He was so calm. Such a great traveler, was just so proud and protective of me. It was wild. And I was like, holy shit, she was right.
Wow. He became employee of the month immediately.
Yes, he got the greatest parking spot in all of the driveway. He really was. It was he was proud to do it. It was crazy.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. So I'm going to send you her information because I would love to know if she blew your mind with that kind of thing. But I think it might take a little while to get in with her, but it's worth it. Okay. To finish this off, we're just going to I'm going to let you pick. Okay. Do you want to play Desert Island or Isolation Island or Rapid Fire?
Let's do Isolation Island.
Okay, Isolation Island. One alcoholic beverage that you'd want to have with you.
Oh, Tito's.
Just plain, just on the rocks?
Yeah, no, I'm not fancy.
I love that about you. One food you'd choose to eat for every meal.
Ooh, one food I choose to eat for every meal. Pancakes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's
I feel like I wouldn't get sick of them.
Yeah, and because you have a sweet tooth, so syrup.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay. One outfit you'd want to be wearing.
My comfy.
Yeah, of course. Duh. Yeah. I don't know why I even asked that. One game you'd want to have on hand.
One game I'd want to have on hand, and I'm by myself. I play word games on my phone a lot, so probably one of those.
Are you on Words with Friends?
Not on Words with Friends. Elliot and I have been playing a lot of Scrabble in the quarantine.
I love games in general. I love sitting down and playing games.
Yeah.
Quarantine just seems like such a perfect time to do that. We keep playing Monopoly Deal is a really great one. It's a card game of Monopoly. Crib we love. What else do we play? Oh, Rummy Cube. Have you ever played Rummy Cube?
Never played.
It's amazing if you want to get a new game.
I'll have to look into it.
Okay, one app on your phone you'd want to use.
Probably Instagram, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. Because you can stay connected with everybody. No, that's a cheating question. You don't get an app.
You don't get an app. Yeah, I'm like, so if I have an app, I have Wi-Fi then.
But I mean, it's Isolation Island, so I don't know. Anything goes here. One podcast other than ours that you'd want to listen to?
Probably Psychobabble. It's my friend Tyler Oakley and Corey Cool, and they're just sweethearts, and they have very hilarious conversations.
Wait, what's it called again?
Psychobabble.
Psychobabble. Okay.
Yeah, they're both like internet people, but they did The Amazing Race together, and they just like gossip with each other every week. It's so fun.
Oh, okay. I love that because I just in this all this time, I'm like, God, I should start listening to some other podcasts. So that's a good one. Okay, I'll listen to that one. And then one movie you'd have on repeat.
Oh, see, I don't watch movies on repeat. One movie that I'd have on repeat. We watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind the other night, and I forgot how good it was.
That's a great movie.
That.
Okay. Oh, wait, last one. One random object you'd want to bring with you.
One random object.
And if you don't say a dildo, you're lying.
I think I'd need toilet paper. There's so much you can do with it.
That's fair. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you.
And tell everyone where they can find your podcasts, plural, and you and everything.
Sure. I'm just at Grace Helbig on all social media, and Not Too Deep, and This Might Get Weird. You can listen to Not Too Deep on Mondays, and This Might Get Weird on Wednesdays, everywhere you get your podcasts.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. And let's not wait 2 years to do this again sometime.
Yeah, we're trying to get you on Not Too Deep. We're going to figure out some time.
I would love to. I've got time.
Great. Perfect.
Okay, thanks so much. I'm KAITLYN Bristowe. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks for listening to Off the Vine with KAITLYN Bristowe. Get new episodes every Tuesday exclusively on PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
Who's down with OTV?